One of the key medical school requirements is the completion of certain pre-med courses, often called medical school prerequisites. While most medical schools in Canada and the United States do not have a strict list of pre-med courses, you are strongly encouraged to take certain classes that will help you get a good MCAT score and prepare you for the study of medicine. In this video, I will go over a list of the necessary medical school prerequisites, why they are important, and how to ace them. Hi, my name is Chris, and I'm one of the admissions associates here at BeMo. Before we get started, be sure to subscribe on whatever social media channel you're watching this from now so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. If you would like us to help you get into medical school, visit BeMoMedSchool.com to schedule your free initial consultation. As a quick tip, check out the timestamps in the description of this video to navigate to specific sections of the video that you're interested in. Here's what we're going to cover. Most common pre-med courses, recommended versus required pre-med courses, how to find your pre-med school's prerequisites, how to complete your prerequisites, 5 reasons medical school prerequisites are important. By the way, we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. There's this one thing that will dramatically help with your pre-med course selection. I'll explain in the end of the video, so keep watching to find out. Now let's get started. While each medical school differs somewhat in their undergraduate prerequisites, there are some nearly universal subjects and subfields that MD programs want matriculants to have completed. Overall, prerequisites for medical school tend toward being general, such as introductory first-year biology and chemistry. Focusing on a broad base of introductory courses provides a solid grounding for more specialized study in medical school, but it also ensures that applicants still have time and space to pursue other topics of study as undergraduates. It's important to remember that medical schools admit students with a wide range of majors, and part of this is that the nature of medicine is quite complex. Social and communication skills are nearly, if not equally, as important as expertise in biochemistry for the practicing physician, so demanding that students develop highly specialized knowledge in physics, for instance, at the cost of exploring literary studies or sociology, would be seen as overly narrowing an individual's development as a well-rounded person. Prerequisites are nonetheless the central part of a pre-med academic foundation, so they should not only be taken, but taken seriously. Here are the most commonly required medical school prerequisite courses, which we've compiled from the admissions data of dozens of top-tier medical schools. Common prerequisites: biology. 1 year, 8 semester hours, college-level biology with laboratory. Most MD programs will also want to see that this includes at least some coverage of physiology, genetics, and/or cell biology as well. Chemistry. 2 to 3 years and 2 to 4 or more courses in general introductory chemistry, organic chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and biochemistry. Schools also require laboratory work with these, with the exception of biochemistry, which is usually offered without a lab component. First-year courses in general chemistry and organic chemistry are the 2 most commonly required chemistry courses, while inorganic and biochemistry are slightly less common but still widespread. The first-year general chem course is essentially universal among prerequisites, while the mix and breakdown of course lengths among the other subfields varies somewhat by school. Humanities, social sciences. 2 or more semesters of writing-intensive English or other humanities courses. The exact amount of credits in English courses vary from school to school, but the common thread is for students to show writing proficiency in English, which is an essential part of both studying and practicing medicine in North America. Some schools will only wish to see demonstrated proficiency in English, so a TOEFL exam may suffice. On the other end of the spectrum, the Johns Hopkins School of Medicine requires a minimum of 24 semester hours, approximately 6 courses, spread across a variety of disciplines including English, history, sociology, psychology, and more. Common to most medical schools, though, is a much more feasible requirement of 2 courses in English literature or writing. Mathematics. 1 to 2 semesters of either calculus, statistics, or both. This is slightly less common compared to science pre-med courses and may be satisfied through a math-heavy physics course in some cases. Nonetheless, standalone statistics courses are the gold standard for most math prerequisites, as data interpretation and testing probability play a huge part in medical education. Physics. 1 to 2 semesters of general physics with laboratory. There aren't usually additional qualifiers to this prerequisite, although Harvard Medical School, for instance, strongly encourages students to satisfy this requirement with a calculus-based physics course. It is important to note that these prerequisites should be taken as part of a 4-year bachelor's program at an accredited post-secondary institution. AP or IB credits are usually considered inadmissible as prerequisites, and taking any of the above courses at a community college is not recommended unless otherwise noted on a specific school's admissions page. Fulfilling these requirements as part of your bachelor's program assures the medical school that you have studied these mandatory subjects at an acceptably rigorous level. Additionally, be aware that some schools have time limits in place for completing these prerequisites, so there may be an expiration date for your science and non-sciences prerequisites. For example, some Ivy League medical schools will not accept science prerequisites older than 5 years at the time of application. You must make sure that you check with your school to determine not just what you should take, but whether there is a time limit for how old your prerequisites can be to confirm your eligibility. The biggest technical difference between required and recommended pre-med courses is this. Without completing the required prerequisites, you will not move up through the selection process. Period. Most medical schools will reject your application straight away if you do not complete the required courses. On the other hand, if you do not complete the recommended courses, admissions committees will still review your application. However, the distinction between recommended and required courses should, to some extent, be overlooked. Why? If a medical school, especially a competitive one, specifically names a course as important, you should do all you can to take it, whether it's a formally required prerequisite or a recommendation. The nature of the admissions process is so competitive for most MD programs that you should simply assume that most other keen applicants will do all they can do to gain an edge in their application materials. This means curating their undergraduate academic work to be as attractive to medical schools as possible. It's important to weigh this fact against the reality that admissions committees do, nevertheless, want to admit well-rounded and unique applicants. Sure, a student who has checked all the boxes for required and recommended work will stand out, but so will a student who has excelled in musical performance or art history while maintaining good grades in their required science courses. As with most things, striking a balance, in this case between med school monomania and unrestrained personal exploration, will yield the best results. To that end, you should seek to take all pre-med courses recommended by your chosen schools, so long as it doesn't negatively impact other aspects of your undergraduate academic work. If enrolling in a linear algebra course would radically disrupt the final 3 months of your MCAT study schedule, then perhaps it isn't the best use of your time. In almost every other case, though, you should seek to take both required and recommended courses as a matter of showing medical schools that you take their admissions criteria seriously and that you are a committed and conscientious student who doesn't shy away from extra work. There are 2 main sources for information on medical school prerequisites. The first, of course, is the admissions pages on a school's website. Specifically, you'll want to head to the MD program page and then look for a page or section on admissions requirements. While there isn't always a specific page for prerequisite courses, any information related to both required or recommended courses should be fairly visible in the admissions section, since students, understandably, are eager to obtain this information early on. This is in every way the most important resource and will be most up to date. Requirements can change from year to year, so always begin by consulting the source of this information. You can also utilize the help of medical school admissions consulting to help you plan your. The other main resource for medical school prerequisites and recommended courses is the AAMC's Medical School Admissions Requirements, MSAR, database. Learning how to use MSAR is an extremely helpful skill when you're beginning to seriously research MD programs, as it contains well-organized pages for hundreds of medical schools that include nearly all of their relevant information, from prerequisites to average graduate debt and everything in between. You may be wondering, how hard is it to get into medical school? The short answer is, it's very hard. Aside from putting together a great application, getting experience and volunteer hours and all that, it's equally important that you not just pass your prerequisite courses, you must do well in them. Medical schools will consider your prerequisite courses grades as part of your overall GPA, so you should aim to get the best possible grades you can in these classes. Here are some suggestions for maximizing your prerequisite performances. Number 1, plan your pre-med courses. If you're considering applying to medical school, plan your undergraduate courses so you are able to complete these prerequisites. Some undergraduate programs, such as majors in biochemistry, physiology, and other life sciences, will have all the prerequisites included in their program of study. For other programs, you will have to plan your schedule so you get all of them completed. Here's a tip: be flexible to fit everything in. Be mindful that you may need to use your optional or elective time or do certain courses during the spring or summer terms to complete some of your prerequisites. Another tip: plan ahead. Plan a proposed course schedule for the first 2 years of your undergraduate program during your final semester of high school, making sure you are completing both your degree requirements and medical school prerequisites. Pace yourself. Make sure you spread out the difficulty of your courses so you are not taking all of the difficult or very time-consuming prerequisites in 1 or 2 semesters. Spread them out evenly over about 2 years so you have a good mix of courses and can give the correct attention to each course. Number 2, finish your pre-med courses in a timely manner. Aim to finish your prerequisites by the end of your 2nd year of undergrad. Why aim for this deadline even though most students don't apply to medical school until their 4th years? Aiming for an early deadline will give you some leeway during your 3rd year to complete any unfinished prerequisites. For example, if you need to withdraw from any courses or need to take time off for personal or medical reasons. Here's a tip: finishing your prerequisites by the end of the 2nd year will also give you plenty of time to prepare for and write your MCAT prior to applying to medical school. Number 3, study effectively. Ensure that you get the best possible grade you can in each prerequisite course, as these count toward your overall GPA. And a tip: be highly organized. Use your calendar or planner to note down dates of midterms, final exams, and due dates for assignments. Block off time in your calendar weekly for each course to make sure you are devoting time throughout the semester and not leaving studying or assignment work until the last minute. Here's a tip: stay focused by staying balanced. Take breaks when you study. For every hour of work, take a 5 to 10 minute break to stretch, walk around, or talk to a friend. You'll be able to return to your work after the break feeling refreshed, energetic, and ready to focus. Another tip: ask for help whenever necessary. If you are struggling with any course material, seek help from your professor during office hours. Professors can point you in the right direction in terms of study strategies as well as resources to help you feel more comfortable with the course material. Another tip: seek out the right mentors. While you should always ask for help with your coursework when necessary, you will improve even more as a student if you seek out mentors who can inspire and guide you as you complete your bachelor's education. Professors, TAs, and even private tutors and academic consultants can all make excellent mentors. The right mentors can help you plan out your courses of study and prepare you for the steps necessary to achieve your goals. Professors can also serve as strong references for your medical school applications later on. Here's a tip: keep yourself informed. By informing yourself about which prerequisites you need to complete prior to medical school and planning ahead, you will be able to complete them and do well, helping you along your journey to medical school. Why are pre-med courses important? Before we wrap up, let's take a bigger picture look at why medical school prerequisites are so important. Number 1, solid knowledge base. Medical doctors need to have a broad knowledge base with a solid grounding in several subjects to be effective physicians. Anatomy and physiology courses, while required by some schools, are actually subjects that will be covered extensively during your medical education. Schools want to know applicants have knowledge of subjects like chemistry, math, English, and other subjects that can't be covered during medical school due to time constraints. A physician will need a solid grounding in math and physics to practice in a range of specialties, from internal medicine, calculating various important medical lab values, to radiation oncology, knowing how radiation works and how it affects the body. Biology and chemistry courses give students the grounding in basic sciences to study subjects like physiology, anatomy, and pharmacology during medical school. Medical school prerequisites also give you the chance to test out your strengths and weaknesses. Maybe you're top of the class in biology but struggle to achieve high grades in your chemistry courses. Gaining thorough knowledge of your scientific strengths and weaknesses during your bachelor's can help alert you to knowledgeable areas you need to improve if you want to succeed in getting a high MCAT score and later on in medical school. The more exposure you gain to different scientific disciplines, the more certain you will be regarding what does and does not require concentrated improvement. Additionally, English courses help physicians write and communicate effectively. Don't forget that your command of the English language must also be demonstrated in application components like the medical school personal statement and medical school secondary essays. Number 2, critical thinking skills. Most prerequisite courses require more than rote memorization. You will be expected to display your critical thinking, self-learning, and self-assessment skills to succeed in prerequisite courses. These critical thinking abilities are important to success as a medical student and physician, as physicians constantly take part in continuing education, assess their own skills and abilities as practicing clinicians, and strive to improve their performances. Your performance in the pre-med courses will display these skills to the medical school's admissions committees. Here's a tip: these critical thinking skills will also come in handy for the challenging critical analysis and reasoning, the CARS section of the MCAT. As many of you know, you cannot prepare for MCAT CARS by memorizing the passages and answers. It takes months to develop an MCAT CARS strategy that will help you tackle challenging texts. Additionally, you should practice your reading and reasoning skills by using MCAT CARS practice questions. Number 3, time and stress management. Medical schools want to see that you can succeed while taking a variety of courses as well as juggling your extracurricular activities. As a physician, you will take part in a variety of activities from clinical practice to teaching students to administrative or research work. You will also be working long hours. Medical schools will want to see that you can effectively manage your time as well as handle the stresses that will be placed on you as a medical student and physician. Succeeding in your prerequisite courses shows medical schools that you can manage competing priorities, do well at a variety of tasks such as taking tests, writing essays, and completing lab reports, as well as that you can manage your stress with effective strategies such as exercising, good sleep hygiene, and unwinding with friends or family. Number 4, MCAT preparation. There are some medical schools that don't require the MCAT, including some BS and MD programs and medical school early assurance programs like PreMed, but it is required by most medical schools. MCAT scores have a huge effect on medical school acceptance rates. While it may be tempting to see med school programs that offer fewer mandatory prerequisites as freeing, the truth is that anyone who wants to be a doctor should not shy away from science classes, as these will be important elements of their training. Additionally, science-based questions make up the majority of MCAT content. Taking the necessary prerequisites helps you develop a strong grounding in sciences and social sciences that you need to ace the MCAT and succeed at medical school. To do well on the MCAT, you must have an appropriate background in certain subjects. Luckily, these are the same subjects that medical schools require as prerequisites. The MCAT tests critical thinking abilities and does not rely solely on memorization or regurgitation of facts, but it will require a solid grounding in biology, chemistry, physics, statistics, English, and at least one social science like psychology. This means that even if the school you are applying to does not require prerequisites but does require the MCAT, you should complete courses that will also function as MCAT prep, so you have that required background knowledge to do well on the MCAT. Ensure you're aware of upcoming MCAT test dates so you know when to start studying for the MCAT. Don't forget to take an MCAT diagnostic test to help you prioritize which content areas to focus on and create a thorough MCAT study schedule. Number 5, keeping your options open. Completing prerequisites and the MCAT keeps your options open. As mentioned above, many medical schools do favor prerequisites and have the MCAT as a mandatory requirement. So completing all of the prerequisites gives you plenty of medical schools to choose from when the application time comes. Doing the bare minimum may limit your options in a way you will regret later. Check out our blog to learn more about pre-med courses you need to take to get into medical school. I've included a link in the description of this video so you can find the blog easily. If you would like us to help you get into medical school, visit BeMoMedSchool.com to schedule your free initial consultation. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, so please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. If you have any questions about pre-med courses and prerequisites that I didn't cover in this video, let me know in the comments section and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget, we're giving away $50 Amazon gift cards every week to the best comments and questions, so comment below for a chance to win. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time.